What is up everyone, Barricade here and bring guys a quick Gears 5 discussion video. Before I go any further, I just want to say that this video will have heavy spoilers. So if you don't want to know the ending of Gears 5 or pretty much anything about the story itself, do not watch this video because I don't want to be the guy that spoiled anything for you. I know that a few of my thumbnails on my walkthrough videos were kind of somewhat spoilerish, but the thing is those images were also in trailers, so I don't know, I just felt like maybe you guys already watched the trailer, so if I spoiled anything for you with the thumbnails on my walkthrough, I apologize. But anyway, so what I really want to talk about here is once again something very important to the ending of the game. So this is your last warning. Okay, so what I'm going to be talking about here is towards the end of Gears 5 we get a very horrible choice of having to pick between either JD or Dell dying. So unfortunately one of them has to die no matter what. If you guys saw my walkthrough, I chose JD to survive and Dell died. And one thing I did state in a part after that was that I wish that I could have just thrown the knife at her face. You know, if you notice in the game, you know, Reyna holds Kate down, and eventually Kate pulls out a knife to throw it, and you have to choose between JD or Dell, and whoever you choose, it saves them because she throws the knife and it cuts the tentacle that she's choking them with, and then the other person gets their neck broken. This changes some dialogue and a little bit of parts of the remainder of the game, but ultimately one of them dies. So one thing I wanted to talk about real quick is everyone's been asking my opinion, what ending do I believe is canon? So for those who don't know, canon basically means like what is the true version, what is the true story. So what is the true ending of Gears 5? Who really survives and who will be the next character for Gears 5? So I feel like it could be two things, two options here. When what I mean by that is, for one, I've seen a few people comment on my videos stating that in the official Gears guidebook that, you know, tells you the whole story of the game, tells you how to find everything, all that, it stated that JD is the one that survives. So if that book expresses the canon, which it most likely does, then that would mean that JD survives. So that means unfortunately Dell is the one that dies, and then we continue on with JD. Personally, I chose JD. Like I stated earlier, I wanted him to survive, and I'll talk about why in a moment, but overall JD is the one I chose, and I feel like he's going to be the main protagonist in the next game. And this game was kind of more of Kate's story to kind of get the origin of this locust, get the origin of the swarm, everything like that, and to kind of lead it up to Gear 6. And then Gear 6 is going to be back to the Phoenixes, and they're going to go on and take her out, take the Queen Reyna out. And I heard the word Reyna is actually queen in another language, so saying Queen Reyna sounds kind of weird because it's like queen. But anyways, the main thing is that, you know, that the official book states that JD is the one that survives. Now, does that mean that the game will only have that? Maybe. But here's a thought, just something that I really wanted to throw out there, that maybe the Coalition will do this. Who knows? I don't know. But this would actually be pretty cool, in my opinion, even if the other part of the game wouldn't be considered non-canon, basically not true to the story. But the thing is, if you ever played the game Wolfenstein, there's this game called Wolfenstein, really amazing game by the way. Long story short, that game's just an alternate universe where the Nazis won the war and took over Earth and America got destroyed. But the reason why I'm bringing up this game is the fact that at the very beginning of that game, you have a similar choice where you have to choose between two soldiers to live. One dies, obviously, and then the one that you chose to survive is with you throughout the whole game, and he's your comrade throughout the whole entire game. The thing that was really crazy is even though they made a whole entire other game, Wolfenstein 2, they actually decided to make your choice carry over to the next game. So at the very beginning of Wolfenstein 2, the game asks you, who did you choose in the first game? And then whoever you chose continues on with you in Wolfenstein 2, and then you have a whole nother version of the game where that character continues on. So that's the one thing that's really crazy, because you essentially get two versions of the same game where you chose this, you know, character A, and then you can play the same first and second game, but this version is now with character B. And it's really interesting that they actually put that much work in the game. I think that's pretty freaking cool. And I feel like that would be really awesome if the Coalition did that, because that would be really cool if they, we could still get Dell. We'll get Dell back for people that did choose him. I feel like it would kind of be messed up if people chose Dell and wanted to continue on to see what the next game would be like with Dell, and then they have to play Gear 6 with JD, or vice versa. So I feel like they really should do that, because it would give the player more immersion and make the player feel like they played a major role in the story's development. So I feel like they really should do that. That would be really cool. Imagine if at the very beginning of Gear 6, you get a flashback of what happened at the end of Gears 5, and then it tells you who did you choose, and then you pick, and then you play the whole Gear 6 storyline with either JD or Dell. And then that would be really cool, because it would also give the actors, another job to play the game, to be a part of the game, and, to have their characters in Gear 6 and everything like that. So I feel like this would be an amazing idea. I have a feeling this is actually what they're going to do. At least I hope it is, because it would just be kind of silly not to, in my opinion. But now, once again, I want to talk about what ending do I believe is canon and why I chose JD. So first off, I think it's JD. I feel like he's the one that survives. I feel like this is the true canon ending to Gears 5. And the reason why I feel like this is the canon ending, because it feels like it just makes sense. It doesn't make sense to me that JD would die. He's Marcus Phoenix's son. He carries the Phoenix name, and he's going to be the character that's going to end the war just like his dad did in the original trilogy. It's just going to relive the whole next thing, Marcus's son is going to be the hero. It just makes too much sense to me. It just has to be him, in my opinion. And the reason why I chose JD, besides that fact, is I didn't want to see Marcus hurt. I know that sounds silly. I don't know if that's a silly excuse. I basically sacrificed someone's life to spare the feeling of someone else. But it just felt like Marcus has lost too much already. He lost his best friend, his brother, Dom. Loses his wife, Anya. And then he had, falling out with his son, but his son was still alive and he cared a lot about him. And then to lose him too? No, I couldn't do that to him. I just couldn't. And that's why I saved JD. That's one of the major reasons why. Because JD needs to live. That's just the main thing I want to say. I'll be honest with you. Dal was an awesome character in this game. He helped Kate out. He was there for her. He had her back when JD was over there being the jerk soldier type. And Dal was the guy. He was basically their version of Dom. And, he was the nice guy that did the right thing, helped them out, had their back no matter what. And I felt really bad for making that choice. And honestly, right now while I'm talking about it, I feel myself getting a little emotional, because I love this game. I love this series. I know it's a game. I know it's a video game, but I still felt bad. And I know it's just a game, but I almost feel like I gotta live with my choice, I let someone cool like Dell die. And now I have to go on with JD, and JD needs to be the one to make that sacrifice worth it. He better be the one that stops Reyna, stops the Swarm, and everything works out in the end. He needs to make up for all the bullshit that he went through, all the bullshit like he did at Settlement 2, and all that crazy stuff. This is going to be his redemption story, and he needs to do it to not only save the world, but to make it up for Dell. And that's why I saved him, because I couldn't hurt Marcus, and I feel like JD needed redemption. But yeah, guys, I really loved this campaign a lot. I thought it was amazing. I thought it was fun. I loved the exploration and the open world parts, and ultimately it made me cry when we had to make this decision for the game. But yeah, guys, overall, if you guys like this video, please definitely hit that like button and subscribe, and tell me what you guys think. Do you feel like JD's ending is the canon one? Do you feel like Dell's is? Which character did you choose and why? And also, do you believe they'll do what I stated, where they'll make Gear 6 continue on with the version that you chose, basically carry over your choice? Do you believe that's a good idea? Do you believe that the Coalition will do that? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and also if you like this video, hit that notification bell so anytime I upload a video, you guys can be notified. But anyways guys, thanks for watching, and take it easy. Thanks for watching this video. If you want to see my most recent Gears of War video, hit that link on the left. If you want to see any of my other content, hit that link on the right. Thanks for watching, guys.